Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Crafting Corner. Today I'd like to teach you on how to make one of Ductile Creations' bookmarks. Now, I've made these bookmarks in a variety of sizes, and honestly, this is probably my favorite length for them. So I will be showing you how to make this length, but as you'll see as we go through the video, you can make it any size you want. Okay, so first what we're going to do, so I'm just going to lay that there for a second. Okay. First, you're going to take your tape and you're going to lay it out. And these lines will help you keep things even, so use them. Okay? Alright, so first we got that. Now, this time we have to adjust the camera a little. Apologize for that. So we've laid out our tape nice and smooth. I'm going to cut a little bit along this line here. I'm going to do that just so I can keep the tape as even as possible. Okay. So get rid of the excess there. And, you know, typically I like to stick to a standard size. If you look at this bookmark and you actually saw the numbers, you'll see that it's slightly over 8 inches here. So, you know, 8 inches or a little over, that's kind of the standard. So what I normally like to do when I create these is just take a bookmark I've already made and cut it up like that. See? And then what I do next is I take the roll of tape and I lay it down as close to the other one as humanly possible. You don't necessarily want it to overlap, but I guess it also doesn't matter too much. Now don't worry if you accidentally made it a bit too long on one end, because we can actually adjust that at the end. Right? So you cut that tape, then you take your roll and you put it somewhere else. Alright, so now we've got 2 strips of tape, so what we're going to do, there it goes, is lay one sticky side up and take the other, if it wants to come up, there we go, and we're going to place it down ever so gently over the one with the sticky side up. So now we have, you know, duct tape sheet with no sticky side. So if you accidentally get a little of the sticky part that's hanging off, that's okay. The way we're going to address that is by adding another layer of tape. So we take our roll, okay, and we're going to start at one end like this and make it as square as possible. Help if you can actually see, I guess. Make it as square as possible in there. Fold over one side. Okay. Right. And then, where's my knife? Here's my knife. And then what you're going to do is cut out enough on the other side so you know that it'll overlap. Now I've got this little bulge here, or bump. I'm just going to cut that off. Right. And that's not going to matter in the grand scheme of things because we're going to cover it up. And you can't even tell that it was had a mark. Well, I guess you can a little there, but we're going to cover it up again, so no worries. Alright, so now you're going to do that again. Now for this part, I'd like to overlap the tape just a little there. It's no big deal if you don't, but that's how I like to do it. Oops, again, apologize, it'd help if I actually did this on camera. So again, I'm going to fold that over, cut through, make sure there's enough to actually overlap with the other side, and tape it up like that. Now, one thing you'll notice as you go through is that sometimes there's a bit of excess, or it's a little bit, you know, like larger on one side or further out. You can just undo this and just pull a little. You know, it'll bulge around the edge, but you know, it'll be a nice nice even surface. All right, so other times I like to go back and forth with the tape so it doesn't overlap the same way both times. Ultimately, it's not going to matter, but I will do that anyway just for fun. It's not going to matter because we are going to eventually just cover up that whole side. There we go. Okay, that's not actually covering there, so we're going to actually take that off. Let's try it again. Okay. So we're going to overlap. Another piece here. Make sure it's nice and flat. If it's not, undo it and lay it back down. And then we're going to just pull that over. Now we got three blocks there. 3 columns, I don't know. Whatever you want to call it. 3 overlaps, that's what we'll call it. All right, and then we are going to do a last overlap. And there we go. Alright, so now we've got our duct tape strip overlapped. Make sure everything's pressed down and it's nice and flush. It's it's going to be a little bendy at first just due to the nature of the tape, but in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter too much. So the next thing to notice is, we have a bit of excess at the edge, both edges. So all you're going to do is take some scissors and as carefully as you can, cut along the line of that overlap part. So it gets nice and flush. So you can do the same thing on the other side. Okay. Of course, if there's any bit left, we just take it off. So now for the fun part, picking out the color or pattern you want. So I had some extra dog print tape left over from a roll, so I'm going to be using that. Mostly because I don't want it to go to waste. And you're just going to put it over top of the overlap portion. Let me try this again. This part is a little difficult because sometimes the edges aren't exactly even. But that's okay, just try your best. That's all anyone ever asks of you. And push it down and get it as flat as you can. Alright, so now of course we have some excess parts here, so we're going to cut that off again with our scissors. And try your best not to actually cut the bookmark. I've done that before. Alright. So that's one strip, can't get it off my finger. Alright, there it goes. And the second. And there you have your duct tape bookmark. Now if it does have a curl like this, like I said, it will go down in time. And of course once you start actually using it in the book, it will flatten out as well. So that is how you make a Ductile Creations bookmark. Feel free to subscribe to the channel for more duct tape making tips. If you have any comments or suggestions for another video, feel free to post them down below. And as always, thank you for watching.